Clive Palmer wants the world to know he's back in business.
Bean counters are killing the country. We need to get our priorities right.
After finally resolving a long-running legal stoush over workers' entitlements at his North Queensland nickel refinery, he's turned public benefactor with a self-titled foundation to promote an unproven anti-malarial drug as a possible COVID-19 treatment.
I did that for Australians. This is my country and I spent the money with my money. I took the risk.
God bless Australia. Thank you, guys.
He's also resurrecting a decade-old plan to build a mega coal mine in central Queensland's Galilee Basin.
Waratah Coal Pty Limited, building a shared prosperity for the future.
Its potential is thousands of jobs and opportunity for Australians.
Now a group of school children and young adults is trying to stop him.
It is daunting, yes, but I wouldn't say as daunting as the idea of an unsafe future for me and my generation.
We're all tired of our futures being sacrificed for the profit margins of a couple of billionaires. So we've stood up for ourselves, and that's why we're challenging Clive Palmer's Waratah Coal in court.
Citing the damaging effects of climate change, these young activists are using a new human rights law in their effort to halt the mine.
This is an Australian first. It's the first time that a human rights basis has been used to challenge a coal project. But it's not radical or strange. This kind of thing has been happening overseas.
Well, I just don't think our court systems are set up to handle such a disputed political issue. That's not their role and purpose. And to try and retrofit them to do this, I think will just cause more division and angst in our community.
3 cheers for Anastasia. Hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
When Labor was re-elected in Queensland in 2017, it promised to introduce the state's first ever Human Rights Act.
This bill is about government putting the people of Queensland first in all that we do.
Coming into effect only this year, the new law is being used to force authorities to pay greater attention to climate change.
We're generally looking forward to a future which is increasingly uncertain, and that impacts our right to have a safe future, and it means that we won't have access to the same opportunities that generations before us have had.
23-year-old environment consultant Mel McAuliffe is one of the founders of a new group called Youth Verdict.
We formed Youth Verdict with the intention to use the law, particularly the new Human Rights Act, to fight for youth justice issues.
Comprising teenagers and young adults, the group says many of its members have first-hand experience of extreme weather, such as the Townsville floods and climate change.
I wasn't that impacted until the floods, and that's when I really started to know that we need to act now. And as a youth and the next generation, we want a voice to be heard and understood and recognised.
Others saw their family homes threatened by last year's bushfires.
It felt unreal and it felt almost apocalyptic. Obviously, I sort of knew that climate change was happening and upon us, but it was that made me realise that it's happening right now, and those that can't handle its impacts are being affected the most. And I realised just how important it is that we take action now to ensure my generation has a safe future.
We know from the strategies of other environmental groups that they have sought to use our court system just simply to delay projects, not necessarily to protect the environment or even win the court case.
Youth Verdict is getting legal support from a network of environmental defenders officers, arguing 6 potential breaches of their human rights.
I think the key ones are the right to life, the protection of children and impacts to culture, rights to culture. These types of actions are increasingly being seen in litigation around the world, which draws the nexus between climate change and human rights. It was really only a matter of time before this type of action was brought in Australia.
The LNP opposed the introduction of a Human Rights Act in Queensland, and with this new legal challenge, Senator Matt Canavan says that stance has been vindicated.
The right way to tackle a complex issue like climate change is not something that should be enshrined in our Constitution, a Bill of Rights or a Human Rights Act. That's something that is up for legitimate policy debate that gets decided at democratic elections in our country.
Neither Waratah Coal nor Clive Palmer replied to 730's request for comment. This new legal front in the ongoing battle over development of the Galilee Coal Basin is set to get underway later this year.
So we have no precedent for this area, which makes it very new and exciting, but we don't know what will happen.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.